23 ways to break Mario Kart Wii, and have fun doing it. Whether it's driving upside a wall, getting a 6-second lap, or otherwise just making Mario Kart Wii work in ways that it's not supposed to. It's on this list. Today, I'm joined by the Mario Kart maestro himself, TWD98, who's also going to be known as Troy for the rest of this video, to bring the series classic to its knees. Hey there folks, I'm Skip the Tutorial, and here we like to play games the wrong way. And hey, jumping in on behalf of Funky Kong to say that only 8.8% of you watching are subscribed. So, if you want to support the channel, it's free, and it goes a long way. So, with that out of the way, let's break one of the Wii's flagship titles. Number 1, Fence Flying. DK Mountain is a great track to catch some airtime. Whether it's going high speed out of a barrel cannon, or descending the slopes of an active volcano, there's a lot of options over here. The best of which might just be this unorthodox trick. If you hit the angle perfectly, it's possible to use the combined force of this fence and ledge to launch yourself over the track. It can be a tough one to learn, but once you do, there's no way you'll ever go back to the regular method. Number 2, all-terrain vehicle. Nobody likes going slow, right? Especially in a racing game where every second counts. Well, while the vehicles in this game aren't exactly all-terrain, Mushroom Gorge does have a trick to handle the off-road. If you use a bullet bill power-up right off the ramp, you can sail past the mushrooms and right over to the other side of the cave. However, when you hit the grass patch, your speed stays consistent, negating the whole off-road debuff. Worth noting, this should only really be done in lap 3, because that speed consistency is going to have its major downsides in earlier laps. Number 3, Twin Trouble. If you've ever had living room arguments about who gets to play which character, this exploit's made for you. Start off by having one person select the character, cancel, and then move the cursor off the pick. After you rinse and repeat those steps with each individual person, have player 1 go back to the prior screen. When you re-enter the mode, each player should have their cursor locked on the target, and then you can have multiple of the same character. As a side note, one thing you've gotta try with this is just scrolling through the bikes and carts in the menu. Since the game gets confused and doesn't know which pose to show for a character, it can make for some hilarious results.
Number 4, Half Pipe Hero. The Bowser's Castle shortcut discovered in 2009 and still one of the coolest shortcuts in the game that does not skip any key checkpoints. On the half pipe area of Bowser's Castle, players can boost up the right side of the half pipe on the right and go through the wall without collision onto the higher platform as a shortcut and save over 3 seconds. You can even do it on the left side, but it is quicker on the right side, and you can even do it trimless with the right angle.
Number 5, Pole Position. Up in the snowy peaks, the North Pole is definitely the most famous pole out there. However, I'd argue this one on Sherbet Land deserves some attention too. If you clip the edge of this pole just right and then ride way back to the frigid water over here, you'll respawn pretty far back. From there, take a ride backwards until Lakitu tells you that you're headed the wrong direction, and then head back to the start. By driving the wrong way after we respawn, we had a checkpoint that updates the game to know where we are. And that means we can ride right across the finish line and take a lap in 20 seconds. Number 6, Best Dressed. By taking advantage again of the exploit to play as the same character, there's a way to malfunction the game's victory screen. To pull this off, have multiple players choose either Peach, Daisy, or Rosalina. From there, you'll need to switch up the vehicle choices with one using a cart and the other a bike. With this setup, if one player places on the podium, meaning third or above, and the other one drags behind, then at the winning ceremony, one of the characters will be wearing the wrong outfit. It's a fashion snafu sure to make E-News scream, but it definitely lends some fun to see 2 clones of the event. Number 7, Back to the Roots. After racing on Maple Treeway for the 468th time, you're probably ready to branch out. So if a change of scenery is what you want, take a trip off this side of the track with some precision to reach the bottom of the floor. After you've landed on the tree bed, you can cruise through the hills with no collision boxes and explore the unintended side of one of the game's prettiest courses. And really, that's the thing. There's so much of this course that goes unexplored, and with this, you can see every detail laid out just for yourself.
Number 8, Problematic Parking Lot. In Coconut Mall, if the player jumps off a ramp/escalator in a certain manner, the players fly off the main track. Players can then travel underneath the track in the parking lot area, where if they go to the right places and hit the right checkpoints, they can make the laps count and skip the entire level.
Number 9, Underground Storage. Ever wonder where Nintendo keeps all the item boxes they use for the tracks? Well, a sort of seal shows. If you sail off the track going backwards like such, you can clip into the dark underbelly of the scenery, which that much is to be expected when you head into the abyss. But what you wouldn't expect to see is 3 unassuming item boxes spiraling into the pit. And using external hacks, we can verify that, sure enough, they're item boxes. However, colliding with them down here doesn't do much good for us, as none of the items stick around. But now you can take the solace in knowing that as you ride your way through the snowy halfpipe, these 3 sub-item boxes wait underneath, cheering you on as you go. Number 10, Big Head. If you take a look over at the minimap, you'll see that the enemies simply don't get fair representation compared to the player. The size difference is palpable, and it's something we gotta fix. Luckily enough, if you first play Time Trials and then switch over to a different mode, you'll notice that the portraits on the map get substantially bigger. Since Time Trials scales up the picture of the ghost that you race, it changes it universally in the code. Granted, this shift does reset every time along with the game's startup, but if you want them back, simply start up another time trial and then have your fun with some puffed up noggins. Number 11, Tunnel Tree Triumph. Shortcuts are the bread and butter of Mario Kart Wii. They play such an integral part to the game that they're part of the reason the community sticks with it even to this day. And to show just how important these things are, Mario even left a couple of them in his personal circuit. Using this tree second from the finish line and a mushroom boost together, we can kick up enough juice to clip the tree and then launch off to the tunnel, putting us right next to a lap landmark. Additionally, you can also use this tree over here to do the same thing. Although, when you use this one, you will want to reverse into the tunnel to actually get credit for the checkpoint.
Number 12, Wheelie Wonders. Essentially what this trick does is when wheeling into the wall at a very slow speed, you can prop your bike up into a vertical position while wheeling. From there, you can perform backflips, which you normally would not be able to do with the vehicle, or if you're turning slightly while doing this, you can complete full 360 rotations, and it looks pretty magnificent. Very difficult to do, and you must have the perfect amount of speed.
Number 13, Round the Rock. Now, this is a game with some high-octane thrills, but few things can pique your fancy quite like 6-second lap. That's right, if you launch off this ramp in Grumble Volcano, you can head to the rock right here. And while the situation might seem a little treacherous, it's a layup for some real payoff. And through the proper maneuvers to keep your balance, it's possible to round the stone and finish off that section in a short loop around the block. Or I guess in this case, around the rock. Number 14, Mountain Climber. This trick takes off-roading to a whole new level. In Mushroom Gorge, you'll need to take the path backwards, going up and over this mushroom bounce pad. From there, you'll see that you can actually stick onto the side of the mountain face, with an angle that's sure to break a couple laws of physics, and then ride over to the other side. With all that work, all that's left for you to do is blaze back through the finish line and take your well-deserved, albeit unintentional lap. Number 15, Rich Get Richer. Anyone who has played Mario Kart is well familiar with the item distribution. The people in the back spots get treasure, and the ones up front get trash. However, that doesn't always have to be the case. As it turns out, if you pull around 15 item boxes in first place, you can actually wind up scoring some mushroom boosts in the top spot. While the extra speed alone can be pretty cool, the real benefit here is using them as a way to dodge the blue shells. So not only do you get to crumble the item distribution system, but you get to benefit from it too. Number 16, Take the Treeway. The world of discovering ultra shortcuts is a wild west. And in that Wild West, you're lucky if you're able to carve out just a little piece and call it your own. And now, while he's too modest to mention it, Troy actually did just that himself in Maple Treeway. Taking bits of other discoveries and jumps made on the track, he was able to put it all together and not only have the proper shortcut jumps, but also hit the correct checkpoints to make it count. And when you watch it, it might be a little hard to follow along, because it's just such a bizarre combination of no clips and precise hops, but the end result is something worth pining for.
Number 17, the Battle Bug Glitch. This is a trick that is mainly used in Mario Kart Wii Clan Wars, and the purpose of it is to be able to see where the other racers are located even when they're completely out of range where you'd normally be able to see their name tags. You activate this trick by entering battle mode, then quitting, and then heading online. You'll be able to see racers on the complete other side of the track, and this helps you when you're playing in Clan Wars and you pull the blue shell and you don't know who's in first, the battle bug will help you be able to figure out who it is thanks to being able to see completely on the other side of the track.
Number 18, Hello Darkness. Sometimes all the colors on the track might start to wear thin, so if you want to stare back into the abyss, DK Mountain is right up your alley. Using this ledge right here to sneak through the fence and mountain rock, you can pop out of bounds and into the cool blackness of the dark. So I guess this proves DK Mountain's hollow on the inside. It's just a shame it doesn't have a basketball court like the Matterhorn. But hey, maybe that's something for the next game. Number 19, Maple Moon Jump. In honor of the 32 monkeys that have flown in the space program, I think it's only fair that we give Funky Kong some zero gravity himself. With a well-oriented boost right here in Maple Treeway, it's possible to pull up a moon jump style levitation and then pop through the leaves below. So if you're dying to visit part of the tree, but driving is just so much work, then this here is a stellar way to fall with style. Number 20, Back in Blue. Red versus blue is a debate as old as the colors themselves, so for the Blue Battalion out there, this one's for you. Now, it's possible to do this in all modes, but multiplayer is going to make it significantly simpler. After kicking off a team race, keep an eye out for the team review screen. From there, you'll need to boot back out and then enter into a solo race. What you'll notice this time though is that some of the fake item boxes will stay blue instead of the red status quo. They don't function any different, but if you want to rep the team in a solo match, there's no better way.
Number 21, Out of This World. This is something that is extremely hard to do humanly, and the current clip you are seeing is done by Tool Assist. This trick allows you to jump from the section that is after the Rainbow Road cannon all the way to where the figure 8 half pipes are located. Rainbow Road is a level that already has a massive moon jump shortcut, but this jump puts that one to shame.
Number 22, Animation Annihilation. We don't talk about it much, but a lot goes into making a game feel alive and moving. And more often than not, the job of a game animator goes unsung. But if you really want that hard work to go unseen, there is more than a few options for that. You see, in the game, if you execute a trick roughly 7 frames before you hit the ground, you can execute what's called a jam trick. What's happening here is that we confuse the game before it knows which animation to play. So instead, it just decides to do a whole lot of not much. It's a weird sight to see, and definitely something that's hard to do. But if you ever happen to pull one off, it sure is interesting to see an unanimated trick jump.
Number 23, a minor problem. Just like previous ultra shortcuts, you're able to get behind the finish line without the game realizing it, use a mushroom, bounce off the pipe, land at the end of the track, and backtrack till you hit the last key checkpoint. Once you do, charge a standstill mini turbo, and then head towards the finish line, completing laps in record time. When hitting the pipe, most of it is entirely out of bounds, so you have to hit the right sections of it, not only to avoid being counted out of bounds, but also to shoot up and land on the bridge at the end of the course.
And with that folks, big thanks to Troy for helping out on this video. I highly recommend his stuff if you have a Mario Kart itch. On top of that, get funky on this one in the top right for 23 ways to break Pokemon Generation 1, or reverse to the bottom right for another video. If you'd like to support the channel and get more ways to break your favorite games, park on that subscribe. Until then, take care. You have a good one, alright?